All right, let's dive into a question that honestly sounds a little crazy at first. Is it possible to be too good at saving in your 401k? I know, but stick with me because we're going to explore when hitting the pause button might just be the smartest move you can make for your retirement.
It just feels wrong, doesn't it? The mantra is always save more, save more. But here's the thing. For those of you who've been incredibly disciplined, you might be heading toward a point where your success actually creates a brand new and potentially very expensive problem down the road.
So yeah, let's call this the good saver's problem. You've done everything you were supposed to, you've been diligent, consistent, maybe you've even maxed out your 401k for years and years. But that very success, that huge nest egg you've built, can set up an unexpected challenge once you're actually ready to enjoy it. And that really gets to the heart of it. All that amazing work building up a massive traditional 401k could be a setup for a massive tax bill later in life. We're talking about a situation that could cost you a huge slice of the very savings you worked so hard to put away.
So what's actually causing this tax trap? Well, it has a name, and it's a name that every serious saver absolutely needs to get familiar with. It's called a required minimum distribution, or RMD for short. You can pretty much think of it as the villain of our story today.
The idea behind it is actually pretty simple. Once you hit a certain age, the government basically taps you on the shoulder and says, hey, remember all those taxes you got to put off for decades? Well, time's up. It's time to pay the piper. You are forced to start taking money out, whether you actually need to spend it or not.
And this is where the trap springs. Having $1 million, $2 million, or more in your 401k sounds incredible, right? But the RMD from that account is treated as taxable income. It can easily, and I mean easily, push you into a higher tax bracket in retirement than you were ever in during your peak earning years. It's a retirement tax bomb just waiting to go off.
Okay, but listen, this is not a doom and gloom story. You have options. The whole key here is to get strategic before that happens. So let's open up the toolkit and look at the strategies you can use to defuse this tax bomb. But before we get into strategies, we gotta know the rules of the game. For 2025, the IRS has laid out exactly how much we can put in. Knowing these numbers is really the first step in planning your next move.
So let's start with the baseline. If you're under the age of 50, the absolute maximum you can sock away in your 401k for 2025 is $23,500. That's the number to aim for if you're trying to max things out earlier in your career.
Now, once you hit that big 5-0, the rules change, and they change in your favor. The government lets you make what are called catch-up contributions. It's designed to help you turbocharge your savings as you get closer to retirement. For 2025, this brings your total limit all the way up to $31,000.
And you got to pay attention here because this is a special little window that a lot of people totally miss. Thanks to some recent changes in the law, there's a supercharged catch-up contribution just for people between the ages of 60 and 63. This pushes your 2025 limit to a whopping $34,750. It's a powerful, but temporary, boost right before you hit the finish line.
Okay, let's jump into our first strategy. If your employer offers one, and more do, a Roth 401k is an absolute game changer. This tool attacks the future tax problem head-on by flipping when you pay your taxes.
So it all boils down to this really simple trade-off. With the traditional 401k, you get a tax break today, which is nice. But with a Roth, you give up that break, you pay taxes on your contributions today, and then all of your qualified withdrawals in retirement are 100% tax-free. You're basically choosing to rip the Band-Aid off now to avoid major surgery later.
All right, next up in our toolkit, annuities. This is a totally different way of thinking. Instead of just piling more and more money into that 401k, you could start shifting funds into an annuity to create your own personal pension, a predictable income stream that also gets to grow tax-deferred.
Now look, annuities aren't the right fit for everybody. The pros are pretty amazing. We're talking guaranteed income you can't outlive and protection from those crazy market swings. But you have to look at the cons, like having limited access to your cash and, of course, the potential fees. It's all about what you're trying to solve for.
Our third strategy is one that, for most people, isn't even on their retirement radar: cash value life insurance. I'm talking about specific types, like Index Universal Life, which can be used to build up a bucket of money that you can access completely tax-free in retirement.
And here's the kicker. This bucket of money has no RMDs, none. You can borrow against your policy's cash value, tax-free, giving you amazing flexibility. The trade-offs? It's a long-term commitment, and it can be more expensive. But you also get a death benefit for your family, which is another planning tool all on its own.
Phew. Okay, we've gone over the problem, and we've looked at 3 really powerful tools to solve it. So the big question is, how do you actually decide what's right for you? Let's try to boil all of this down into a simple framework to help you make the right call.
Here it is, plain and simple. You should seriously consider stopping or shifting your contributions if your main goal has switched from saving money to saving on taxes, especially if you're getting close to that RMD age. On the flip side, you keep contributing to that traditional 401k if you still really need that tax deduction now, you haven't hit your savings number yet, and, this is a big one, if you would be leaving free money on the table by walking away from an employer match. Never walk away from the match.
So I'm going to leave you with this one question to really chew on. After all these years of your hard work and sacrifice, is your 401k still a savings plan for your golden years, or has it accidentally turned into a future tax bill just waiting for the IRS to collect? The moves you make now are what will decide the answer.